concern are you going to need a defense attorney for the block he put on the Foster touchdown run?
You know what? We had run left a ton today, and it's a battle. You know, that's how they play their defense. They force it back to that 4 technique, 5 technique, and it's about trying to win that block. And it's not always, you know, you don't know if you're supposed to scoop them. You don't know if you're supposed to drive them. The only thing you can do is square them up and drive. And I got lucky right there. I got my hand underneath, felt like I stood him up a little bit and got a good drive. And, you know, just finished him off. And Arian, I can't say enough about Arian. You know what? You see what kind of difference he makes for us. He's such a difference maker. To me, he's the best back in the league. I would take him over any back. God's honest truth. There's nobody that's as complete as he does. Catches the ball, the backfield, the receiver type. His vision in our scheme is unbelievable. He made a couple plays, even today. That one, there was a 10-yard run that he made where Timmons shot the gap, and I barely got a piece of him. But he didn't waver at all. He knew exactly where his blocks were. That's what you get out of him. I'm glad he was healthy. He looked great. And, you know, we keep that guy going, and I think, you know, he's going to have some big games.
When Gary says in the previous weeks we feel like we're leaving some rushing yards on the field, is that mostly the cutbacks that he's seeing?
You know, I'm not saying it's the running backs at all. I mean, you know, it's just you're not going to step on the field and be perfect at this scheme. It's not one of those schemes where you run over the tackle. It's not one of those schemes. There are a lot of places where you can run the ball, and you're not always perfect. Arian's not going to be perfect. Arian's going to watch this game and say, man, I probably should have cut it back here. I probably should have bounced it here. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. And Arian's just, I think it's just, you know, there's certain backs that just know how to do this, you know, and he's one of them. He's special.
150 yards rushing and no sacks allowed against a pretty damn good defense. I mean, do you feel like this was a statement game for your O-line?
Well, you know, I wish our statement was a little louder as far as the points scored, but you know, we felt like coming out there watching the film that we could run on them. We could do what we wanted to do, and we did to a point. You know, I give them a lot of credit. They when they needed to tighten up, they tightened up pretty well. So, you know, I wouldn't call it a dominating performance or anything, but you know, we were able to break some big runs, and I think if you're going to have a lot of yards, you got to break big runs.
You ever had a 19-play, 115-yard drive before?
I was told it was 20 plays. I don't want you to judge me, but no, I sat on the sideline and I said, I know we didn't have him in college because we scored way too fast for that. And in high school, we were 4 yards on Clyde at us. We might have had 1 or 2 in there, but man, I knew it was long, but I didn't realize it was that long. That's unbelievable, especially against that kind of defense too.
What does it mean to close?
It's what it's all about. I've been saying it over and over. This league's for closers, and we've closed 3 out of 4. And you know what? We can keep doing that, whether it's on the field on offense or it's the defense creating the havoc. You know, it was weird. I was telling Connor, I think this is one of the weirder games I've been a part of. Just the swings, the lack of plays, lack of drives you really had in this game. Both teams at times just controlled the ball. It was strange. You know, have 3 plays in 1 quarter is really weird. And then, you know, when we got that lead, you could see that Mario lit up, Antonio lit up, Connor lit up. Those guys just wouldn't let Ben breathe, and that's what it's all about.
Third quarter, there was a lull on the offensive side. Gary put all you guys together. Your teammates were telling me about how important that moment was. You picked the right time. Can you tell me about that moment and how important that was?
Well, it's just, you know, listen, we had 3 plays that quarter, but like you said, it didn't look the same. You know, whatever it was, it doesn't look the same coming out there. And we can't have that. We can't come out of the locker room, you know, in the second half and take a couple series to get going, to start getting that blood going. Whatever we need to do, if we need to stay out there and just run 9 on 7 until the second half begins, then we need to do that. But it's one of those things that we just got to be mature enough on both sides of the ball to go out there and have that same intensity and have that same fire.
How important was what he had to say? I mean, how much did that help you?
Well, I don't know if it was just incredibly important what he said, but I think the way he said it and the urgency in which he said it, you know, and that's what I think more than anything. Listen, we like I said, we had three plays in the third quarter. You don't know going into the fourth quarter if you're going to get 3 more drives. We had to go out there and make the most of it, and after that drive, of course, we broke the big one and went up 17.
Do you all get more out of a win based on who the opponent is, or do you care?
I mean, obviously, you beat the Steelers. That says something, you know, and I'd lie to you if it didn't. But at the same time, we're 3-1. We're going through a pretty tough road in our schedule, and we needed this one. Another home game next week. That's important. And you know what? We lost a big guy right now, but hopefully he'll be back soon. And but things don't change. We run the ball, we play action pass, we're going to put up points, and that's all that matters.
I know the offense, and specifically the offensive line, has matured a lot since the last time when you lost Andre for that 5-game stretch back, and I think it was 08, maybe it was. But having gone through that before, do you feel like you can weather that storm better, or do you have a defense that's better equipped to weather a storm like that?
I think both. I think we're more mature on the front. I think, listen, I think Brian Johnson, there's a reason we brought him in here. You know what? He looks the part. He's played the part a little bit when he's gotten in, and now it's time for him to step up. And he's going to get his opportunity. Other guys are going to get his opportunity. And everyone's just got to pick up the road. Obviously we're going to see maybe some bigger fronts. Some more 8-man fronts because of Andre. But that's all right. That's going to give Jacoby Jones some more chances to make big plays down the field. It's going to give Brian Johnson some chances to make plays down the field. Everyone's got to do a little bit more now.
How nice was it for you and your offensive teammates to watch your defense make the plays to close that game?
Well, we wanted to be the ones out there closing the game. We're a yard away, making that first down and winning it on the field. But anytime that you can at least give them some field position and punt it deep, you feel pretty good about it. And this is the kind of guy, this is the kind of D, especially with our front. If they have to pass, watch out. We got some pass rush. We got some guys that can flat out get to the quarterback up front, and it's fun to watch those guys.
There's really only, obviously, D'Amico's injury, but J.J. Watt really the only new guy among those guys. What
happened to D'Amico?
From last year?
From
last year,
okay.
D'Amico's injury, obviously.
Oh, you got J.J., you're talking about the front, yeah, right. But I think the scheme, I think a little bit of everything, just the coaching, I think. I'm not going to, listen, those coaches, Reggie Herring, those guys, Kolar's been here. I think, it takes a little while to get some of that sunk in. I think Kolar's finally sinking into some of those guys, but JJ's a big improvement. It's hard to, if you're a center, which side do you go help? Do you go side help Antonio and leave your guard one-on-one with JJ, vice versa? That's tough.
As good as Tate was when he stepped in, Arian just bring maybe a notch.
Sure, I mean, Arian has the experience. Arian has the time in the system. You're not going to step into the system and be perfect from day one. And Arian's not perfect. No one's going to make the perfect cut every time. But I think the experience allows him to have those big runs and see those cutbacks. And Ben's going to get there. I mean, I don't think there's a doubt about that. But Ben's going to get there. But Aaron's a special player, and Aaron's a special player now. And anytime you have those special players on the field, they can make a big difference.
That first drive, I know it's the first drive of the game, but can you feel those guys getting tired on the other side?
Sure, I think, you're out there a while, and you see them turning around, looking around. It's time to put your foot on the pedal. I think it was just big that we got in there and we got in the red zone and then ran it in for another touchdown. I think that was big. Obviously, we threw the little pop pass there, but we got all the way down there. A lot of it running the ball.
That pass, I mean, they pretty much sold out to stop the run.
I mean, you got to pick your poison on the goal line there. I'm not surprised it worked. It's one of those deals. You have a guy block you, and then all of a sudden he kind of trips out there. You think you beat him, and he's wide open.